So I was not gonna make a video, but I had a very good idea as I was walking home. I just came home right now from donating blood, and a good thought came to me about how to not be needy and how to not give off that needy vibe and give off a non-needy nice and with abundance mentality, right? This is something that I teach guys more. I don't teach this women because this is a tactic that guys use because women communicate more through the sub-communication. They look to deceive because guys can lie to them. So they trust more on the little subconscious signals at an unconscious level than the conscious things they say. Because words are deceptive. Words are ephemeral in nature. They can change by any time. And you don't need to follow them. So what are ways that you can come across cool and attractive and take away the needy vibe? Because your needy vibe, in a woman also, a guy feels a girl who's needy. Now, for the most part, guys feel neediness through how much investment they put in. But they also feel neediness through how much, through the vibe that she gives off. Now, you may say, I don't believe that. Well, let's talk about this, girl, okay? Because some girls think they know everything, right? Like they're the ones that approach thousands of girls and systematically learn the skills of how to attract people. And they don't think, and they read about it, talk about this, think about this 24/7. They think they know everything, right? But this is how it's done, okay? A lot of the times when women talk to guys, right, and they're needy and they feel sad and they need their validation to be happy, they give off a needy vibe, right? That's normal. Like you could tell when someone's needy, right? Let's say you go into a business interaction and the person who you're interacting with needs the deal a lot more than the other party. The other party is gonna sense that, and so they're gonna have more leverage. Neediness gives the other person leverage, and neediness takes away power from you. So how do you regain that power? It all starts with what's going on in your mind. But for example, you're needy. Most people are needy because there's something in their heads that they're trying to avoid. There's something in their heads that they need. They have an outcome in mind. They need this outcome in order to fulfill a fantasy they have in their minds. Now, for the most part, we don't suppress the good things about us, but we always suppress the bad things, right? Now, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to do the total opposite of that. Why? Because I always say, when you're not getting a certain result, do the opposite. For example, if I'm teaching guys and it only gets 3,000 subscribers, do the opposite. Teach women. You see, that's what I'm saying. Do the total opposite. So if some people, they go up, go down. If you want to be successful, do the total opposite of what everyone else is doing. Is everyone else going to college? Do the total opposite and go in your own business. I can promise you that the potential in that is a lot more infinite than just going to college. But that's just the semantic. That's just showing you an example of how doing the opposite has a lot of power. So the same thing. It's rather suppressing the bad things, you want to suppress the good things. Why? Because whenever you suppress the bad things, what happens? You feel it in the vibe. You feel yourself, you feel sad, you feel like you need the outcome, you need the person to get you to like you. So what happens? You try to suppress it. You try to act cool, you try to act like you don't care, but what happens is that the guys feel that through your sub-communication. They feel your neediness. Just like a guy, you can tell when a guy's just acting confident when he's actually not confident. He's trying to act rather than be confident. Doing is being above doing. All right. So in order for you to give off a confident vibe, you have to switch it around and suppress the good things about you rather than suppressing the bad things about you. You see, it's not about power. Is not about what you do to the person. Power is about what you could do but elect not to do. For example, you could tell a good with sports. You could tell I'm not in the rhythm right now because I just came from the donation place. I'm like still startled. But generally speaking though, there you go. I was like, okay, when you're talking to a guy, right? No, let's say you're playing sports, right? And you're playing with a professional basketball player. What happens? They usually downplay their skills. And you can feel they could do a lot more damage. And simply because they're downplaying their skill set and you can feel that they are not playing as hard, it makes them appear better. You see, when you're talking to a person and you know that there are good things that you can say. For example, let's say that your best quality is that you are a martial artist as a woman. For the most part, if you're a martial artist as a woman, you can always bring it up in the interaction. So what can you do about that? When somebody talks about, let's say he brings up the subject of that he loves Floyd Mayweather, right? And what are you going to do if you're really trying to impress him? You're going to bring it up. What I want you to do is this. I want you to, rather than him saying, I love Mayweather because I love boxing, what are you going to do now? Rather than saying, oh, I'm a martial artist, what are you going to say? Oh, interesting. What else would you like to do? Change the topic. But what's gonna happen is that you know deep down you have something good to say. You know deep down that you have value to offer. You know deep down that if you bring that up, he's gonna love you for it. So what happens? Rather than talking about it, you feel it. And you're gonna feel like, yeah, at any moment in time, I could surprise him with this. And this is gonna give you a confidence that's subtle. A confidence that's felt in a very subtle way. This has a lot of effects. Not only do you feel like you have something to offer, as opposed to just having your body to offer, which I don't mind at all. But you also have value in terms of a character trait, in terms of like extrinsic value. Like I also do this, I also do that. I'm more than I seem to be. So when when you do that, you're going to communicate that you have more to offer through your sub-communication. The guy's going to feel that there's something more to her. You see, this is how you're able to come across mysterious, by hiding the good things about you, and then, rather than bringing it up when he brings it up, bring it up at a moment where he wouldn't expect it. For example, rather than bring it up in the same day, you know, when you guys met, bring it up maybe 2 hours later during the conversation, and you just say, by the way, I box. Why didn't you say it earlier? You see, when you bring up, when there's something cool about you and you hide it, the person's gonna say, wow, like, what else is she hiding? It makes you mysterious. Or let's say that you don't even bring it up in the conversation. He adds you on Facebook or Instagram, and you show a picture of you boxing, you know, or bobbing and weaving, you know, flying like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. He sees that. What is he gonna think? This girl didn't even bring it up. What the fuck, does she like me or something? Because most people, what's a natural tendency? To tell it. But what did I tell you? Do the opposite. See, because you're doing the opposite, you're gonna have the opposite effect. You're going to confuse him. You see, so that's a very simple way to come across cool, because it's gonna affect your vibe. They're gonna feel that you're cool. Not only are you cool through your looks, you're also cool through your vibe. It makes you more fun to be around, and it makes a person say, "What else is there about you that I don't understand?" You see, and in addition to that, you remove the neediness also through exposing your weaknesses. You see, for the most part, we usually try to suppress our weaknesses and expose our strengths. That says more negatively about you than it says positively about you. It says, because it's not what what really affects people is not what you say, is what you don't say. It's what you don't say that people makes people wonder. You see, so that's how I tell guys, look, if you have something cool to say, don't say it. Let her ask. Let her find out on her own, through putting effort, through actually seeing you again, through actually getting to know you, so that by getting to know you, it becomes an adventure. It makes us say, damn, like, most guys, they're that superficial. Most guys are easy to read. This guy has a lot of things about himself that he doesn't say. Now, not only that, but the mere fact that you don't say everything cool about you in the first meeting says how cool and confident you are as a person. For example, a basketball player, if he's a professional basketball player, he wouldn't tell you he's a professional basketball player in the beginning. Why? Let's say that he's actually a veteran, because in the beginning, when you're a professional basketball player, not that I am, but in the beginning, if you're pro, you're excited about it, so you're going to mention it. But let's say you're a pro and that you really want to be left alone. You really just want people to get to know you for who you are rather than your skill set. Aside from being a tall, lanky motherfucker, right? That's going to give it away. But let's say that you're normal looking. If you're a basketball player and you don't want to stand out, you're going to say, you're now even going to bring up basketball. If somebody says that what do? You say, oh, I do this. Like, you just try to give it a vague answer. So what happens? Let's say that this basketball player invites you to hang out with him. And suddenly he invites you to one of his games. You're like, oh, he's going to invite me to watch a game. And you fucking see the guy dunking and shit and doing windmill dunks. That's going to say so much more about the person as opposed to saying it in the moment. Because you're demonstrating who you are rather than saying who you are. You're showing patience. You're showing that you enjoy the process. You see, because if you're desperate for a guy, you're always going to try to say everything in the beginning. And guys going to feel that. I'm telling you, guys going to feel that. It's kind of like when guys talk to you and they all have a car. It's a lot better to see his Mercedes-Benz rather than hear about his Mercedes-Benz. You see? Say less. Do more. Let him say more about himself. And listen. And that's going to give you a vibe that's fucking cool. I'm telling you. Not a lot of people do that. And just get in the habit of not suppressing your weaknesses. In addition to that, for example, if somebody says, I don't know, like, I'm 5'9", right? I'm 5'9", right? And let's say somebody says, oh, you're short. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Embrace it. Okay, cool. Like, you embrace that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm online dating. I put I'm 5'10", but in the profile I say, by the way, I'm 5'9". You know, I'm just lying to you. I'm 5'9". Like, you're embracing your weaknesses. You see, I used to be insecure about my height. I used to be insecure. But when you're in bed, there's no such thing as height. Height don't matter, right? Right? But length does, right? But anyways, that's what I want you to do. So this is Alex from lineforattraction.org. I actually recorded it on my phone, but I didn't like that it was like horizontal. You know what I'm talking about? When you record with your phone, I didn't like the way it looked. But this is it. I'm gonna upload it, and I hope you guys have a good day. For those who need one-on-one coaching, let me know, and goodbye.